Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you and our edition of Cairo Local Time. And as promised earlier today, we'll be discussing the tourism sector inside Egypt and how it is on its road to recovery. We've seen the Minister of Tourism announcing that the number of tourists that have visited Egypt in the first 5 months of 2021 have totaled about 2 million visitors. And we're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Nagham Mohamed, the tourism expert. It's a very good afternoon to you, Nagham.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Thank you very much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right. First and foremost, how do you see the rate of recovery of the tourism sector in Egypt, taking into consideration, of course, the post-coronavirus era?
That's a good question to start with. Of course, we are having a very good performance versus the rest of the world.
Yes.
Egypt has been known for so many things that of an attraction for the tourism field in general, for the tourists, not only for the resorts, but for the ancient Egypt, pharaonic temples,
yes.
These treasures that everyone is looking forward to see and to visit. Not only that, during the past period, the ministry and the whole country, the private sector, the government sector has been very anxious to do things to show the world something that's very special. That during the pandemic, we have been working hard
yes.
On museums, on discoveries, we have had the parade, which has been the talk of everybody around the world for some time before the parade and after the parade. We have the museum opening, the grand opening of the Grand Museum, the Gem, towards the end of the year, inshallah. So with all these activities, Egypt has been very active in performing measures for the public, in making sure that any tourist would come in a safe trip to Egypt.
Yes.
With that, we have been performing very good, and we have been attracting so many countries, let alone the ones that have been closing totally and are having severe measures due to their case, not our case. But the rest of the other countries has been now allowing traveling to Egypt. We still, of course, having a lot to do in order to ensure that we keep this measurement of high attraction for the customers, for our tourists to come to Egypt. On the other hand, on the political side, we have been very active in having good relations with a lot of countries who are transferring or giving tourists to Egypt, like Russia, like Greece, like so many other European countries. So
yes, absolutely.
We are really performing very well.
Absolutely right. Let's talk a bit about, the measures that Egypt has implemented to accelerate this rebounding process that we're talking about, such as vaccination of all the workers in the tourism sector at most of the tourism destinations around the country. How will this help with regards to, peace of mind at the end of the day when you're going on a trip with your family or as a tourist? You want to feel, in that sense, secure.
Absolutely, and Egypt has been is prioritizing the vaccination of the tourism workers to support the sector's recovery, of course, which is a major thing for Egypt, and to make sure that we announce that all our resource areas that have been now of an attraction has been had the vaccine. In order to ensure the safety measures for the visitors. Of course, Egypt have started with the reviews with the Red Sea and with the training course, but we are the ones that of an attraction right now, being in summer and being the one mostly recovered and being visited, like South Sinai and Red Sea. So we're ensuring that all the resorts, hotels, businesses, restaurants in South Sinai and Red Sea have the vaccine. Not only that, there has been as well measures given for the travelers who arrive in Egypt, like having PCR positive certificate in order to enter the country. Otherwise, they won't enter. We ensure as well during the visit all the covered measures being taken, which we have implemented from the very beginning, like the distance,
Yes.
like the food cover, like all the measures that have been always talking about.
Absolutely.
So these are very important for us now in order to ensure that we have a safe country for any visitor coming with his family or coming for business or whatever, which is an important thing.
Indeed. Also, the tourist occupancy rate in Sharm el-Sheikh is currently at about 40%, and we'll likely see an increase with the Arab tourism season kicking off. Let's talk a bit about the importance of Arab tourism and how Egypt, of course, will be guaranteeing their safety of the visitors during their stay, as, of course, Egypt is a very popular destination for our Arab brothers and sisters.
Arab countries have been always one of the very important markets for Egypt.
Yes.
Let alone that they are our sisters, brothers. Not only that, they do understand our language, so they are not really affected with any major issue happening. For example, during 2011, they were the first returning to Egypt because they do understand what's happening. They do understand the whole consequences in Egypt. They feel that they are in their own home. It is their second home, actually. A lot of them comes with their families, leave their families here and do business and so on. So it is very important that we look after this market, especially that it produces an average of 20% of the total production of tourism to Egypt. And it can be, of course, increased with some touch-up. But it's very important that our sister Gulf and UCC and Arab countries allow tourists to Egypt, because this will really boost and have impact on our economy and on our tourist skills numbers. It's very important as well that we look for the issues that make them get attracted to Egypt, like having the prices, like having the vaccine, like offering special things and educating some of the taxi drivers of the bazaar, how to deal with these people in order to make sure that they are attracted, they are always bounded to Egypt, not going somewhere else. Where they find their relaxation, their easy contact with the civilized people, educate the whole country how to treat them and ensure that they are having a happy and successful experience.
Yes. Also, we are expecting the resumption of Russian flights in the very near future. How will this help as well in the rebounding of the tourism sector to reach its pre-coronavirus levels?
Well, Russia was one of the major markets producing travelers and tourists to Egypt till 2015, 2016. And then, of course, Egypt have worked hard to fulfill the measures required by the Russian government in order to do the safety measures for the Russian tourists. But on the other hand, we have worked on the other hand to reduce the Russian tourists. Now with the COVID-19, one of the major steps that has been taken on the political level was to attack again or revisit again the Russian government, the Russian tourism, and ensure that they come back to Egypt because they can fulfill certain economic needs and they do enjoy staying in Egypt, especially in the resort, as they are having very easy accessibility to Egypt with the charter flight. They are having an economy stay in Egypt. Usually they do travel in summer to Turkey, but Turkey will not give them all the space that will require. Therefore, Egypt is very important for them. And of course, resuming the flight would affect definitely, as said, 50% occupancy is a very high occupancy,
Yes.
and it is only allowed now to have 50% occupancy during this pandemic. So this is giving a very good boosting for the tourists.
Yes,
Of course,
absolutely.
we give the Russian tourists the right experience. I'm sure that this will keep or have a good impact, positive impact for the winter and also the flight, where Egypt is the only destination that gives them the sun, the resort, and the economy vacation.
Yes, absolutely. One final question, if I may, Nagham. The Minister of Tourism, Manani, called Egypt's beaches among the best tourist destinations in the world, of course referring to a study that found the Red Sea beaches to be some of the most resilient to climate change. What does this mean? Why should this be an attraction? And what does it mean for the preservation of the Red Sea and our beaches in that area?
That's a really brilliant one to talk about.
Yes.
Egypt is considered one of the only destinations that are used. We don't have much competition during winter in particular, with an exception of the long coast like Latin America, where you have really good weather.
Yes.
Other than most of the world does not have good weather and the whole environment where you can enjoy the vacation of a resort, and where the rest of the world is having very rainy, cold weather. You cannot really enjoy much.
Yes.
It's really a destination for the winter, and with that, it affects positively all the destinations to travel to Egypt, especially if we go with positive steps towards our clients and objectives that have been putting into consideration, like the vaccine, PCR, ensuring that the medicines are given, having the opening, continue with our media and marketing events that have been announced everywhere, and giving very positive impact for the whole world to travel to Egypt and to attract and to make sure that market Egypt as the right destination for winter and having a good recovery for all these people that have been during the pandemic having no vacation and that.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much. Nagham Mohamed Ali, our tourism expert. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. And that's all the time we have for today's edition of Cairo Local Time. We do hope you have enjoyed it. You were in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Many thanks for joining us.